If you really want to skyrocket your success, find someone who's done what you need to do. Find someone who does it the way that you want to do it, and learn everything you can from these people.
Hey, welcome back. In this episode, we're going to be spilling the beans on what it takes to be a successful network marketing leader. So stick around, because in this video, we're going to be giving you our best hacks to creating the ultimate success inside network marketing. So as you're watching, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and let us know below, what are some of your biggest questions that you have when it comes to finding success in network marketing? So girls, what are some of these successful tips, tricks, hacks that we have to help these guys become professionals and leaders in the network marketing space?
I think the first thing is surrounding yourself by people who have got where you want to be. It is investing in yourself and getting mentorship, getting coaching to help you understand what it's going to take to get where you want to be.
Right.
And I'm going to give a little proviso, because there are a lot of people out there who say that they're coaches, they're mentors, but haven't actually done it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, thank you, Adrian. And so I think it is really important we've been there. Yeah. We've been in your shoes. We have struggled. We've also seen massive success in network marketing, and we know what it takes to get there. And so in our coaching community, we are sharing exactly what it's going to take for you to get there, but we also understand what you're going through right now. We've been in your shoes.
So I used to be the person who used to think that I can figure it all out on my own. Like, I'm do-it-yourself person. Like, I'm going to go watch the courses. There's a lot of free videos, YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need pay thousands of dollars someone, right, to tell me that what I can find out there for free. What I'm going to tell you right now, what I learned, it was a painful and a long journey for probably close to 3 years, trying to collect those bits and pieces of information together. It's like a soup. It's like a bunch of tabs open over well. Oh my gosh. And if you listen to any successful marketer, they will tell you that the most expensive word in entrepreneurship and marketing is what? Free.
They're never going to give away their best tips for free.
No.
And success is 80%
mindset.
I'd say even more than 80%.
90% mindset.
90%.
It's
the rest
mostly
is
up here, and the rest is action.
Skill set,
action,
yeah.
learning the skill sets.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that I want to say too is, we practice what we preach, even when it comes to that. We all found success because we attached ourselves to a mentor. And we're not just talking like our uplines. Our uplines were great. Yeah, some of our uplines were great. Maybe some of ours, I don't know all of your all's uplines that you had before. I had uplines that were very giving of their time, were there to help, but they weren't growing the way that was in alignment with me and how I wanted to grow my business. I took a look at their lives. They were gone from their families more than they were with their families. And for me, being a mom, I was like, I wanted to grow this so that I could be home with my kids. So I needed to, at that point, I looked at it and I was like, I need to find a mentor that's grown the way that I need to be able to grow. And so by attaching it's not just any mentor, right, is what I'm getting at.
It's got to be the one that aligns with you the way you want to grow your business. Because let's be honest, traditional network marketing still works.
It does.
It does. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do it, it will work. Mm-hmm. It's just, do you want to do it that way? Right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it anymore like that. So Carrie has a good point.
And then I think what holds people back in that regard of investing in a mentor too is they're like, but I just want to build this business and now I have to spend all this money. And it's like, if you actually looked at what you invested at to get into the career that you did, right? Again, you can't just go on YouTube and expect to learn all the strategies and all the things for free, right? Those people invested to learn what they know, right? And so it's it's like going to a university in marketing, right? So what would you pay to learn those skill sets or whatever that looks like, right? So it's like, it's that mindset.
It's funny how in the society it's okay to spend $100,000 on college, where you will see that majority of people who graduate college. Now, I'm not trying to say it's a bad idea, right, to go to college, but I finished college, didn't pursue that career. Friend finished, eventually quit. We all did that, right? And we ended up somewhere else. So, but I'm not trying to bash the, mainstream education. It still works for many, many people, and we need those skilled people, right? But it's okay in the society to think that it's okay to spend $100,000 on education. But when it comes to investing in yourself, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so much. But in reality, the more you invest in yourself, the faster you will see the return.
Yeah.
So that's the first mindset shift that needs to happen, where, it's great to find free tools and free education right here and there. But if you really want to skyrocket your success, find someone who's done what you need to do. Find someone who does it the way that you want to do it, and learn everything you can from these people.
Other than mentorship, which I think I agree is number one, like when it comes to getting to that leadership status, what else? What's the next hat tip or trick?
What often I hear from our students, it's when they realize that their upline is teaching them to build their business not the way that they want to build, there is a big resistance where they realize I have to become the upline. So literally I have to fire my upline, although these are the people that I love, right? They are the people that gave me that opportunity. I was in the exact same position where I loved the people, but I just outgrown what they were teaching, and I was no longer interested in those methods. And I told myself that if I don't find out a different way, I'm gonna quit. So I had to become the upline. So, and that's where they're like, oh my gosh, I actually have to become a leader. And the next step where they kind of get stuck, well, I don't have a team, right? I don't have huge results. Who would want to join me? I'm not a leader yet. So another aha moment I had is that leadership is an inside job.
Absolutely.
So you have to step up your game. You have to channel that badass, whatever you call it, person inside of you that you already have inside of you. You don't have to become it. You don't have to go find it. It's already you. You just probably haven't used those qualities in a long time, haven't used that energy at all, right? And step up and be the leader for people who are just a few steps behind.
And I think that's something that we all did earlier on than most is we adopted that leader mentality before we became that leader, right? So a lot of people wait till they wait till they have the result of, okay, well, when I become a leader, when I have a team, when I have, all these customers, then I'll be a leader, right? But we embraced being a leader already. We adopted that, right? Even before we had all of the results, right? And so, it boosted our confidence, right? We showed up differently, and then, all the other stuff came after, and then it just even propelled us even more forward faster.
Yeah.
So.
And to that point, so when Brandy and I went to our very first, it wasn't a network marketing convention, but it was our first online event, right? Learning how to do these things. One of the owners of that company, he met me. I find out these years later, he was all like, I had no idea your story. I had no idea that when you went to that event, you weren't already a top earner. Because when I went in there, I went in with this, I'm going to make this happen attitude. Just like I remember each one of you when you came in had, right? Yeah. And so when I met him the first time, he was like, I had no idea you were still living in your mother-in-law's basement or, any of that. But he's all like, it was the energy that you brought, the intentional conversations that you had. And I could see you, kicking ass in the background, your name on the leaderboard and such things. He's like, I thought you were a top earner. I had no idea. So to that point, it's how are you showing up in your business each day? How are you showing up?
How are you being?
How are you being? Because it starts first with being the person. We're not faking it till we make it. We're not, telling lies or deceiving people in any way. It's just, what are the qualities of a top leader step in and be those qualities.
And I think that attracts people to you even quicker, right? Like with the confidence and self-confidence. And we've talked about this over the last few days as well. Like, you know, there's a difference between being just a normal person and leading people, right? Like you have to have that leader piece in you, and we all have it. It's just stepping into it instead of asking for permission anymore. You just are. Right.
And I can tell you guys exactly how it might look like in real life, because when someone told me for the first time, just be a badass, I was like, what?
How do you just
like, what do you mean? Right. What do you mean? Right. When I finally realized what it means to be a leader. So I had no one on my team. Everyone quit, and I started from scratch. And because I was learning all these new skill sets, all my people who previously joined through home parties, they were like, whoa, that's just like a rocket science. So I was alone, right? But I start learning all the skill sets, all the knowledge. I'm like, dang, this is amazing. I got to share it with someone. So I would turn around and create like a video series on how to literally push buttons on Facebook, right? So, and later on, I created a community for other network marketers and start teaching them like they were pretending they were my downline without asking anything in return. So I stepped into that leadership role. I'm going to teach these people how else they can do it, right? I'm going to inspire these people.
just serve?
I'm going to provide all this value without asking anything in return. And first I start seeing myself as a leader, right? Then they start seeing me as a leader. And then people start coming in thinking, oh my gosh, I have this huge downline. I never said that, you know, I have downline or didn't have downline, whatever. I just showed up and shared what I knew, what I learned, what made sense to me, all my aha moments, all my experiences, bad and good and ugly, and people start pouring in. So that's how it might look in real life, to step into being that leader.
I love it. So when it comes to like stepping into leadership, once you start like being that leader, you're going to start to attract people to you. As we all know, all of a sudden they start showing up. How do leaders avoid burnout? Because we've all been there where all the people are coming and we give 100% of ourselves and then we burn out and everything falls apart. So how do we help people avoid that?
Good question.
So, yeah, great question. And the key is to set up systems in place so that you're not breastfeeding your team.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I did that. I was literally coaching every single person on my team, and it literally sucked the life out of me. And when you find yourself doing that, if you find yourself spending all the time teaching your team and teaching everybody the same thing over and over and over and over again, you will burn out, you will stop building your team, and your team will do what you do. So if you stop growing, if you stop recruiting people, if you stop building, bringing in new customers, your team will stop doing that too.
Right.
And so even before you enroll your first person, think about what they need to do in order for them to enroll their first person, in order for them to get their first customer, and start building out a system, a process for them so that they know what to do when they enroll in your team. You set the system in place, and as people start asking questions, you think, okay, I'll do a video about that. I'll build a video about that. And so they have a system to follow, they have a process to follow, and you can carry on building your business. And what it'll do is it'll identify those people, it'll identify those future leaders, those people who take action, those people who are asking you questions, those people who are holding their hand up and saying, I don't quite understand this, or, you know, I've got somebody I'm talking to, can you help me talk to them? As opposed to literally being that person, being there, you know, being
training your people and training people of your people and training people of people of
well, and I think that's where some people become afraid of success, right? Because they're like, oh my gosh, I've only got like 2 or 3 people on my team or even one. And that was freaking exhausting, right? Like, how am I going to have thousands to actually make a decent kind of income from this industry, right?
because you're going to feel responsible.
Yeah, because you are going to feel responsible. And that's where you need to put those systems and processes.
What it also does is that as people come in, they think, I don't need to have all the answers.
Yeah.
I don't need to know everything, because there's a whole process in place.
Right.
There's a system there, and I can just plug my people into it and I can keep building my business.
Yeah.
So that key to stopping burnout is building out a process for them. It can be as simple as a Google Doc. It can be a series of videos.
It doesn't have to be thrown in a Facebook group.
It can be a series of videos in a guide in your Facebook group.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fancy. keep it as simple as possible, but just set out a process that your new person is going to follow. And if people are asking a question more than twice, shoot a video about that, teach so that you know, anything that's asked more than twice or 3 times, you know, create a process for them so that it's there.
And the best part about all of it is it creates that duplication, right? Because have you guys ever played that game where you whisper to the person and then it comes around and you're like,
That's not what I said.
not what I said, right? Like,
You were way off.
that's exactly what happens with network marketing, right? You teach your personal recruit, right? And they teach their personal recruit. They teach, by the time it's to the bottom, it's like, oh, we spam our, you know, links all over social media. Like, that is not what I told you to do, right?
Yeah.
So,
And so it helps with burnout. It helps with so many other things too, right? It helps give you time back because you know, if you don't have leverage in your business, right? Like we love automation, right? And we've created that by putting systems and processes in place. Then your time, like, again, we got into this industry to have more time back in your life.
Time freedom.
But when I started this, I was like running on fumes because the very little time that I had, I was putting into this business more time. So it was taking more time out of my life, right? And so when you have a system in to leverage your time, so your time's not being sucked up with like 1-to-1 fast start game plans.
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh,
And that takes
shoot me now. Okay. Like, who wants to do that? Right. And so then think about if you're bringing in, so if we were to talk about how we're bringing in thousands, you know, in 90-day span, and to think about having to do one-on-ones
with thousands of people.
Boy.
no, I'd like run away. Like, I'm done with this business, you know, I know. But like, who wants to do that? That's not the life that, you know, or the business.
So a lot of leaders find themselves in that place.
Right. Like we talk about like the golden handcuffs, right? They're making the good money, but they have no time,
They work
right?
80 hours a week.
But it also allows you, and Brandy touched on it just a second ago, but it allows you to then also continue building your business because when you're breastfeeding and you're hand-holding and you're spending all this one-on-one time with everybody that you're bringing in, you put your business on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then when you put your business on the shelf, guess what your team's going to do?
Their business is on the
They're,
shelf.
yeah,
And everybody goes into management mode and then you're standing there wondering,
Why isn't anybody doing anything?
Yeah.
My team.
I want to point out to one of the skills that probably propelled our success. It was automation.
Yeah.
Like Adrian said, there's nowhere in the world I'm going to go and prospect 2,000 people. Like, hell no.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we hate doing is like prospecting, reaching out to people, follow up. I'm like, shoot me, I'm not going to follow up with
That's where all the money is.
7 times. Right. That's when we dove into figuring out what is this magic funnel word is and how we can implement it in doing all the heavy lifting that need to be done, but something we can outsource, right? Delegate or automate. So that's actually when the real magic started happening in our business.
Yeah. And you can use automation with organic strategies as well as using them, you know, with the online strategies. Because I think a lot of times when people say automation, they're like, oh, well, I got to go build a website and I got to go, you know.
Yeah.
Well, now with like the really cool, you know, tools and apps and stuff. Yeah. And all those things, you can create, you know, automation in, you know, your organic strategy if that's what you choose. Or you can go full into
time.
that's,
It really just gets more results quicker.
We have a very cool follow-up tool and a messaging tool that we give to our students that help them not to be that spammy weirdo, or even if you're not spamming, how many network marketers just drown in Messenger?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know, or not.
Yeah, and you forget what you said the last time, and you got to hunt up the thing, and then you got to scroll for days and like read.
And you go to wish somebody a happy birthday and realize that 6 months ago they sent you a message saying, hey, I'm interested in your product. And,
Or I want to enroll in your team.
I had
and
those
you didn't-
people too.
I know.
I had like, oh
and
my
you lost
God.
it.
Just following up 18 months
Sorry.
later.
Sorry, I've been busy. Your message got lost somewhere.
Or when you have to find your husband or your kid's message and you have to scroll
For 20
scroll
years.
for 20 minutes. It's like, there's been so much going on already. So yeah, we have very awesome tools that we give to our students for that.
Yeah. So with that, if you are looking for a mentor, or if you're looking to put some of these systems and processes in place so that, you know, stepping into your badassery and becoming a leader of your team is easier and simplified. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the link in the description, and there you'll be sent over to download our free social influencer formula, where you will get your hands on a lot of these different systems and processes that we've talked about today, so that you can step up and be that leader for your team. And with that, we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can... Are my eyelashes popping off?
No.
Oh gosh. That we've talked about to you today. And we'll see you on the next episode. God.